Oh boy, oh boy.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, so I had it hooked up on the desktop, and I loved it. I mean, it was like it worked so beautiful, but my mic didn't work without the cloud lifter. So I got to figure out how to. I'm thinking I'm just gonna bite the bullet. What's that?
Your audio on stream sound robotic.
Yeah, because it's coming through the tablet, right?
Yeah.
Coming through the tablet. I thought. That's what I thought. I can hear it. Let me see. Let's see. I love it. That sounds good to me.
Well, maybe it's me. Who knows? But we live.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you hear it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Maybe it's me.
Okay. Late is in the mug. Okay. I keep on reaching for my mouth like I got to use this little trackpad on this tab. It's okay though. It's okay. And I got my notes and stuff over there. So I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, let me get the board on real quick. Because the only thing gonna save this show, this shit show, is the audio podcast. So there we go. Somebody already in the chat, and I'm missing the SmartGuyz logo, but I put that up in there. Go ahead and put that up there. Okay, cool.
I don't see nobody in the chat.
Yeah, it's somebody in the chat. It's somebody in the chat.
Oh.
Here we are, later than a mug. Technical difficulties abound. I don't know. Look, I had all type of issues, Keon. But you know what? We are dedicated.
I see.
We dedicated to bringing the SmartGuyz Tech Podcast to the masses. And I don't know. People looking at the screen like, oh, my backdrop look different on the live stream because I'm using my Tab S7 Plus to do the show this weekend. All my other technology is like biting the bullet. It is like going down fast. My trusty Tab S7 Plus is bailing us out this week. So this is where
gotta give it to the tab.
You know, gotta give it to look. When worse comes to worse, we got the Tab S7 Plus. Anyway, for everybody who was waiting on like our notifications, who was waiting on the live stream, my fault. I was going to do the show from the desktop because we was having some issues over the last couple of weeks with the laptop. I think it's time to put the laptop down, Keon. I think it's about time to get a new one. This is the tech, the SmartGuyz Tech Podcast. I'm your boy, a smart guy, Big Q, and it looks like I'm in Key. Let me swap these screens real quick because I don't need to be under your name.
Wow.
It just I mean, you know,
right there.
But I can't change it. Anyway,
right there.
Okay, but anyway, let's go. Anyway, yeah. Who you got? Sheesh on your hashtag Sheesh? What is this?
The boy KNX in the building.
Yeah.
Whenever Cat Squad gets in here, we can give me a hashtag Sheesh.
Man, I'm telling you, right? It's a little bit rough. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see here. Let me see. It just bothered me. So let me see if I.
This man
And then do
it. It didn't do it.
I don't know. No, it still didn't change it. Okay, cool. Anyway, welcome to the raggedy. Well, look, we got it going. Look, we brought the podcast here. Come hell or high water. It's come hell or high water. Look, come hell or high water. The SmartGuyz Tech Podcast is coming to you live, no matter what. So, come hell or high water. Rain, sleet, hell. The only thing that will stop the SmartGuyz Tech Podcast from coming to you is if we start trying to run it on Microsoft Surface Duo. Speaking of which, Keon, let me tell you what happened this week. Let me tell you what happened this week.
That's what I need to know.
Let me tell you what happened this week. And we do got. I think we might have the homie Tim Honeycutt might be watching the show tonight. But anyway, Tim Honeycutt,
nice.
You met him last week when you came to the store, right? The Microsoft rep got at my store. So he finally got a Microsoft Surface Duo 2 in to put on display, right? So we all excited about it. I was like, Tim, bro, look, I'm telling you, because once you get that thing on display, people are gonna be all over it or whatever, right? So he get it up and get it out, and so I prematurely took some shots and put it on Twitter. Zoe was all like, "Yo, who put this on display? Who left the job half done?" Like, I was like, dude, I just took the but he did actually finish. He put the demo in all. He did finish it. But last night though, a guy comes in, a legitimate customer comes in, stops in front of it, looked at it for a few minutes, and then he asked the girl, he's like, "Yo, can anybody tell me about this?" And I'm sitting there watching this whole thing go down. She went and gets Tim. Tim is all super excited because now he's getting ready to do the one thing that he ain't been able to do is sell that freaking Microsoft Surface Duo 2.
One job.
And he was so caught up in it. He was loving it, He sold it. He sold all the stuff to go with it. And so I told him, I said, "Look, bro, I watched you unravel the day before with them Galaxy Z Fold 3s, and I see how proud you were to sell that Microsoft Duo. I said, I couldn't wait for your customer to go. It's like I light your ass up when you got that." So I clowned him a little bit about it, and I told him he was going to be talking about it on the podcast. So, shout out to Tim Honeycutt. That's my home.
Hey, I ain't got nothing to say about that phone. Y'all not gonna wrap me up in this phone, man. Yeah. I mean, it's the Duo though.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah, look, listen, the guy who was buying, I mean, he was about that life, bro. He was.
Did he buy it? Did he buy it?
He did. He bought it. Boy, everything that Tim suggested. It was all caught up in, like, Tim was all on this Microsoft 360. I mean, so you one of the Microsoft guys. You know how that thing. So it was cool though. It was fun to watch, and it was cool to watch him finally get to sell one of them joints. You know what I mean? And I showed him a tweet. I showed him Zoe's tweet. I said, "You got to get on Twitter because these dudes they clowning you, bro." I said, "You got to get."
Yo, tell them to come on Twitter. Tell them to mention us. This one good mention.
Yeah.
Be like, "Yo, it's the best product in the world."
Yeah.
And that's it. That's all we need.
So I was like, "Yo, it must be like a contract because that dude just finished. He's like the job unfinished." Like, damn. So I was very particular about that damn service. Like, we can't have it on display with just a damn hello screen, okay? And we were like, what kind of crap is that? I bet someone going there.
There's no price thing on the right? Yo,
nothing.
You can still see the alarm right there.
Right. Oh god. I bet someone was like, I gotta go in there and finish. I gotta go fix that myself. That's crazy.
That's what he was about to do.
I think it was. Anyway, Ken, that's kind of some nonsense that I was dealing with. Had a monster day the day before. Man, personal best, man. I actually sold 20-something Z series phones the other day. 20-something. I think it was like 23, 24.
I think you said 24.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool feeling. You know, it was like, because it was like those, like the Apple people across the hall from me, across the racetrack. They got a thing that they think that we're not selling those Z phones. That's what they think. And I'm like, bro, I'm selling the hell out of this phone. I don't know what you're doing over there at the Apple section. But these phones are getting up out of here.
We're probably selling air just like you are.
I don't know, man. I'm pumping them joints out, bro. I'm trying to say. Anyway, what's good with you though? I've been having fun at work. This has been good. You know, it's my favorite time of the year, so I'm having some good time. I've been chilling.
I'm just glad I don't have anything to show today on Twitter because my timeline is lit right now. I can't wait till this show is over. No, it's been a good
like that.
I'm about to go in on Twitter. I can't wait. No, I mean it's been a good week. I'm making some moves here. Hopefully I got something new to show you next week.
Okay.
I do have some new camera lenses. I do enjoy my new camera. I've got like a bunch of new lenses, so that's exciting. And
Yeah.
you know, and I'm just getting finances, getting them straight too.
Very nice.
Back, you know, if you follow me on Twitter, for everybody out there who follows me on Twitter, my Twitter goes in like 17 different ways. Sometimes it's like photography stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's just a lot, and then sometimes I'll be on my financial kick.
You kind
And
of make
right
me want
now,
to go look at it, right? Like, what are you looking at? I mean, I'm in the middle. I can't look at it right now. But
no, you can't see my
yeah.
timeline. Like I'm talking about the people I follow. People I
Oh,
follow go
okay,
viral.
okay, okay, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
you can't see that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can't. It's not safe for work. I cannot show it on air. I'm just letting you
yeah.
know. But yeah. Sometimes I'm on my financial kick, and like right now, like that's my main goal right now. I'm thinking about finances and thinking about hitting some goals and stuff like that. So I've been getting on the grind and making it work. You know.
Sounds good, man. I am all about growth. You know, I like that kind of stuff. It's been good.
Sure.
So
Sure.
you know, the holidays are upon us, and we talked about this last week a little bit about supply chain and all that weird stuff and expectations and how ain't nobody gonna get no electronics under the Christmas tree and all that good stuff. But but as the year as we get into the holiday season, we also get into the end of the year for technology, and it's a slow time for us because pretty much every company then they pretty much played their hand and showed us what they got for the year. But I felt like it was been good since it was a slow tech week, unless you had some stories. Like I only really saw like one story that popped out to me, and that was like about all the big tech CEOs that we remember launching these big companies like Jack Dorsey and Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos. All of them stepped away from this big conglomerates and things that they were part of starting up, and now they're all kind of moving away. And the article that I read about that was pretty interesting. It's like we remember these dudes as like visionaries and things like that, and now they're like, oh yeah, and then there's nothing left for me to do but just go hang out on the moon with my peeps.
But Jack said something neat about it. He was just like he built. People should build their companies so that way they're not tied to like the founder, and that way they can operate and still grow even when the founder leaves, or else your company is not. Your company's not a company. It's just like a person. So I get
Right.
that.
Yeah.
They build these things up and they make it so that anybody could run it and make it grow.
Yeah, because when I was reading it, what popped into my mind, and I know you probably gonna disagree with this right off the bat, but what popped into my mind was like Apple, right? When the old boy was alive, the company felt like Disney to me when he was alive. Like he was always imagining things, everything was magical and puffy and shiny and everything. It was like it was all in his like warped brain, like he was bringing these things to life, and it was hard to kind of like disagree with what he was saying because it was you knew it was something that he was imagining. After he left, it seemed like Apple just wanted to make a whole boatload of, which they did. They made trillions of dollars, right?
That's actually not something I disagree with at all. I fully agree with you on that because just like he said, Steve Jobs was alive, he would tell you like a dream. He'd be like, yo, this is magical, this is revolutionary, this blah 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 blah. And you'd be like, you know what, Steve? You're right. And then Tim Cook he comes in, he's like, yo, this is a business and we're here to make money. And it's nothing wrong with that, but it's definitely you could definitely see the differences in how they run the company.
Absolutely. Which made me think about what the future of like Amazon and Microsoft and what's the other one? What's it? Well, Elon ain't stepped away. He's still good. He's still in place, right?
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah. Elon does too much. He got too much things going on. So Tesla and everything else is gonna be fine.
What's the guy's name? Satya Nadella, the guy who took over after Jobs. Not Jobs. Gates left Microsoft. No. Yeah, he's Microsoft, right? That guy. But it's a new Google dude too, right?
There's a new Indian Google CEO.
Yeah. But I thought the guy who took over Microsoft, I could definitely tell like the version of the Microsoft stuff that we were dealing with during the Gates administration felt so cold and so business and so like enterprise that like it was all about enterprise. Like I don't think Bill Gates. I think if he saw like Windows 11, the idea of it, he probably been like I don't know. I don't even know if he would have signed off on Windows 8. I don't know if he would have signed off on that. I don't know if he would have.
Do you think Bill Gates had after let's say I don't know after Windows 2000? Do you think Bill Gates really cared about, how it looked per se, or was he more about how it
Bill
performed
Gates
and
was
what it
more
did?
about Bill Gates was all about productivity, right? That was his thing.
Exactly.
He didn't really care. He was a functional reform type of guy, right? Actually, it was like he did, but I'm saying like when he was running the company, it was really about what you can do and how to get it done the most efficiently. That was his whole deal. So it could look like a slab of rock that somebody used a hammer to kind of. It can look terrible, but as long as you get the job done, that's all that really matters.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. He might not sign off of it because we're moving, or not we, you guys, and not even you, but like Zoe, and them are moving over to, hey, we got the productivity down. Let's make it look good. Because if you think back on like Windows XP and Windows 7, Windows 7 was probably like the first jump into, hey, let's make this look real good.
Right.
And then Windows 8 was like, let's make this look good and modern. And people were like, I don't know. And Windows 10 was like, hey, we can make it look modern. We can still make it work. And now Windows 11 is like, yeah, we'll make it look good and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I mean, I like the direction it's going. I definitely like that it's more about style and presentation than what it used to be, right? It was so weird back then because Windows looked the same on everything that it was on. Like even on those little Palm handheld things, or maybe one of those little panels that was running the robots that was making the cars or whatever. It looked the same everywhere, blocks and squares. That's all it really was, right? The biggest one I got the most concerned about. It didn't even Google because wasn't like Panos, right? Google looked like it's going like whoever, like it seemed like they changed hands and they kept moving the same direction. It seemed like the same agenda is on the table to me. I don't really see that as really changing.
I'm trying to think. I can see it in their product line, especially like the Nexus going over the Pixels. You can definitely see it in that.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the company itself goes, no, I really can't. Because Google's always been about, their software, their AI, helping people, making everything accessible, and they're still doing that. Like you can definitely see it. Like when the Nexus days, they were busy working with other companies, making less non-expensive phones, but they were really good. And now with the Pixel line, it's like they want to control everything and make a higher end phone, still make it good. So I can see the difference there. But as far as the general company goes, it's still Google.
Yeah. Do you think if it wasn't for like that those weird, because they took a couple of they acquired Motorola and then didn't do nothing with that. Then end up selling it again. But then all those platforms that they came up with, that they just let go. Like they'll come up with something and it'll be dope. And then the thing I'm primarily confused about is when they decided to make their own hardware. When they started doing stuff like the Pixel line with the Chromebook and the phones and stuff like that. Why didn't they just seal that off and let it only be a Google thing? Why did they let Asus and Samsung and HP and all these folk in them? You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Well, as far as the Chromebooks go, those aren't the same as the Pixel phones.
Mm-hmm.
Only the Pixel Chromebook is, but even the Pixel Chromebook is using. Because I don't remember the last one they put out there, but the Pixel Book, it's still using Intel, it's still using all this other stuff. And even last year's Pixel phone was still using Qualcomm stuff. So they're just now getting into making their own CPUs. So it's going to be a while. And Google, as everybody knows, Google will bring out a product and they will kill it, and they won't even it'll just die. So I mean, that's always been Google, and I think that always will be Google. They started making their Fuchsia operating system like years and years ago. I heard about this years ago, and the only thing I've ever seen is recently when they put it into the original Google Home displays. Like right now, it's in the first generation Google Home displays, and I'm just like, for what? for what? Why? Is this going to be a thing? Or are we just going to keep waiting? But as far as we know, it's going to die off because Google is just like, you know what? Let's not do it. Right. That's how Google is.
Instead of revamping it or redoing it or working on it, like for example, I think if they had held on to Google Plus for a few more years, like you can see what the effect that social media is having on the world right now. I keep going back to TikTok, but they seem to be the most powerful entity right now. I don't know Google Plus would have been playing in that arena, but I'm just saying, you never know, right?
It didn't need to. Google Plus's community though, like the people who were on Google Plus daily, we loved it. Like Google Plus is my favorite. I loved it so much. It's so different. But Google was just like, you know what? Let's kill it.
Yeah.
It's like Inbox. Inbox was like my favorite email app today ever. And they were like, you know what? Let's not do it. And I'm just like, what? And it happens with so many things. There's a Twitter account named like Google Graveyard or something, and all they do is just talk about the things that Google killed over the years.
Don't you know I still have the Inbox app on my, because it keeps getting carried over every time I do like get a new phone. Because it's so nostalgic, I can't let it go. So I was like, look,
it doesn't do anything for you. It
open it automatically crashes. Yeah, so it automatically will crash. But I just like having it there, you know.
That's weird.
So every time I do my transfers, it comes up, right? And I'm like, man, Inbox.
On that.
Yeah, so I hold on to it, man. I hold on to it, you know. Okay. So it is weird. Somebody was missing last week, but then the first thing they say when they come on this week is the screens are flipped. We know the screens are flipped. We already addressed the fact that the screens are flipped. You know?
This is what my name is. What it is this week.
I'm already a little frustrated because the computer don't want to act right, and then how come Miss Nikki Christina Johnson? It's so weird being here. What? No, welcome. Welcome to the stream.
I'm on the left side.
Welcome to the stream. We missed you last week. We really did. We did. You know. But yeah, but Ken, the one that I think look, I know. I listen. I got my tech is acting a fool right now, and I'm just saying, you know.
Yo, I bet if you just go ahead and get you a Mac Mini, it'll work fine.
So you know,
like 6 years.
I stepped right into that, didn't I?
I'll go buy you a Mac Mini, Q.
Listen, I'm just upset. I'm very like I'm saying you rubbing my nose in it, but I'm upset because this Galaxy looks like I bought this thing last year. $1,600 I bought this thing, and it's almost unusable right now. And then when I tried to go see the value of it so I can get the Galaxy Book Odyssey, Samsung says they give me $170 for it, right? And I'm like, wow, this is wow. Oh, okay. Well, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna. It ain't happening. You know, it ain't happening at all. You know.
What? What? No. I didn't say anything. I'm just.
You didn't. You that little paper plate. You know.
I mean, it works. But it works.
It is though. But look, the design was kind of bad. But I don't know what that is. That is kind of weird. It is. I don't know. I don't know why they did it that way. Anyway, I got me on
a question for you, Q. This popped up on my mind. 2 things actually. One, and if you want me to share the video, I can. You just gotta give me a minute. Did you see the video of the robot going around Twitter this weekend? And the robot was actually moving very fluid. The facial expressions are super fluid.
Yes, I did see that. I did see it. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the robot takeover?
No, I don't think it's going to be a robot takeover. You know what I mean? Like, as much as the AI is a buzzword people like to throw around. Look, AI is going to be as far as what we know now. It's going to be able to sharpen your pictures when you take them with your cell phone and autocorrect your keyboard when you're typing sup. It's gonna try to make it into what's up. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think they can make a robot look and move as fluid as possible, but it's never gonna be able to think. I just don't believe it will be.
There's already
I'm putting it up for you.
AI robots. There's already like AI robots, or there's already some type of robots that can already self-produce.
Crazy.
Not self-produce, like reproduce. Yes, there's already robots out there that can reproduce.
Yeah.
So
When they build them to reproduce, so like basically that's something that you know is going to happen, right? So if you build a robot, of course you're building it so it can build other things. And one of the things that you're gonna make it to build is more of itself. That's usually the first.
Okay, but we got iRobot. We got what was Arnold Schwarzenegger? Whatever his claim to fame. We just got movies and movies and movies about this going wrong, Q.
I'm just saying. So I can't repeat that word in with the spoken language on the thing. But explain that.
I feel like you can. I feel like that word is fine.
You think so? You think I get away with that?
I mean, you can't cut it in half. You just can't cut it in half. That's all.
Okay. Just trying to get me in trouble. Trying to get me in trouble. But not. But
so I can go back to my timeline.
But I just don't think it'll ever be able to think. I think it'll be able to do whatever it's programmed to do. Yes, you program it to make more of itself, it will. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you can program it to repair itself, I think so. But to upgrade
you're not in the least worried about, robot takeovers. You're not worried about robots harming humans, things like that. So, against their code, I guess. Against their code.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. So, right. So in order to upgrade itself, to make itself better, to actually, to give itself an upgrade, it has to think of what can make it better. And it doesn't have the ability to create ideas. It can do what it's told, but that's it,
But what if it's told is like, when you analyze a part of yourself that can be better, go ahead and fix it. That's kind of an open-ended code. So and I feel like that's what's going to be the issue. It's going to be the open-ended code. Like, huh?
I kind of see where you're coming from, but I still, here's my thing.
So Age of Ultron, they were like, yo, make the world better. That was it. Open-ended, make the world better. And then all of a sudden,
you watching too many movies, okay? But yeah,
and let me put a disclaimer out there. I'm not worried about the robot takeover in our lifetime. I don't care. It's not gonna happen.
So I feel like if the robot saw a car with a flat tire, it would see that the tire was flat, and it understands because of the information that's been programmed in it how a tire is supposed to work. But I don't think it can come up with a way to make that tire undeflatable again, right? I don't know how it can possibly make it better. I can see how it can repair it and can replace it and put it back to the way it's programmed to make it look, but nothing new, no new stuff.
That's specific. That's like, hey, you are a tire changing robot. I need you to change the tire or fix the tire.
Right.
What I fear for the future, like way in the future, is that somebody's going to put something open ended, and that's what's going to be a downfall. Somebody's going to just say, make this better, or bring world peace, something crazy, and it's going to go down. It's going to be.
And this is why I don't think it was 100% impossible. This is why I don't think so. Is because if it saw something, it would just cross-reference all the information that it gathered about said thing. Well, wait a minute. If I add this and that to it, it can make it. So that's what I get. But I just don't know if that's like part of the programming. Like, so say, like, I think it has to be created with that. I don't think it can just get that, from nowhere. But yeah, they can keep on repairing tires and doing the things that robots do. You know what I'm saying? But robots are getting better. And I don't know if you saw, I think it was like around Easter time or whatever it was, where that robot company had those robots dancing and it was like doing flips and stuff and jumping all over each other.
I know that company. Yeah, that's Boston Dynamics.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to tell you. I tell you. So here we go, Keon. We have made it to almost to the end of another crazy, and this has been another COVID. Oh, go ahead.
What? And the second question. Let's extend it a little bit. Let's give the fans what they want, Q. They want us. Second question. We're gonna bring it back down to earth and bring it back on the tech. How many versions of software do you think a company will go through before they switch it up? And what I mean by that is there are 21 Galaxy S's. How far do you think they're going to keep going before?
Well, it's really 13. It's really 13. Let's be real.
What number do you think they're going to stop on? Are they going to change it to like the Galaxy X or the Galaxy Fire or something? Like, how far you like iPhone? There's iPhone 13 now, and there are actually more than 13 iPhones. So you think they're going to do like, I don't know, iPhone Q1, an iPhone Q2? Like, are they going to?
Well,
What do you feel about companies like that?
we saw what Qualcomm just did, right? So they went from the Snapdragon 888 last chip that they had with that naming scheme. So the new one that's coming out in 2022 is the Snapdragon Gen 8. Is Gen 8X1? Gen 8X1, I think it's called. Yeah. Gen 8
So
version.
people are going to shorten that.
Yeah.
They're going to shorten that down to X1, basically.
Maybe, yeah, because as long as because the 8th means the eighth gen or whatever the case may be or whatever. But this is what I would say. I think it depends on who the company is and where the company was founded. Because if you look at American companies, right, especially like in the auto industry, they've been making the same version of vehicles for 70 years. Like you can get a 1966 Ford Suburban or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But that's a year naming scheme. As far as tech goes, tech besides Windows like 2097 and 95 and blah 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 blah. Tech doesn't really do year stuff. They do numbers. I guess it's just easier.
Yeah.
So what for tech stuff? Do you think? How far do you think companies should go before they change up, or do you think they just keep going?
I think it really depends on the legacy of said tech, right? If it's something that's got a deep legacy, you might want to hold on to it for as long as you can. I mean, because it's deep rooted. You know what I mean? You don't really want to present it as, something completely different, right? But if the legacy wasn't really that great to begin with, or maybe something bad happened and you need to wash that dirt off your hands or something, and you need to move on, it might be easy to do that. I lie.
Microsoft need to do that with their
OnlyFans or whatever,
OnlyFans can't change. I was talking about that to somebody like last night about OnlyFans trying to just fight the history. It's not gonna happen, man. I'm sorry.
But I think you will see. Well, I read some article where they said that the next version of iPhone, like the thing that was going to take the iPhone's place, wasn't going to be called the iPhone, which I think. But then again, I'm on the outside looking in, so it'll sound weird coming from me. But I always thought, as we got to this point, and like in the timeline where we at now, the name, the I stuff, anything. Well, actually, the only thing that's left is the iPad and the iPhone. Everything else with the I has been going away, right?
The iMac.
Yeah, I think the I sounds so early 2000s, late 90s to me. It's like future tech, but we're not in that era anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean,
it's like email. I think email is antiquated.
Well, I also hate when people say iWatch, and it's not an iWatch, it's an Apple Watch. So I get it.
Yeah.
But I mean, why do you say email is antiquated? I use email all the time.
Oh, yeah, we use email. I'm just saying the name email, the electronic mail. I just think email itself just sounded like it sounded, 22 years ago when it was created or whatever. I don't know. It's like email sounded fly back then. It sounds lame now. I'm just saying, right?
It's definitely what you tell people when you don't want them to respond. Really,
right, Yeah, email, man.
Email. It's like, oh, okay. You don't want me to respond.
Yeah, I don't know about email. Like hit me up on. Well, it's electronic mail. I mean, it is what it is, right? You know what I mean? It's like
how many Galaxy S's do you think they're gonna have before they switch over to something different?
I think the Galaxy S will be around for a while. I think, especially since they actually just did a rebranding of the name when they went from the regular number to the year. So it was the regular number up to the S10, right? And then after the S10, it went to the year. So until they get to like 20, I don't know, S29 sound a little weird. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And just like you, I'm on the outside looking in. So, but just to hear Galaxy S22, Galaxy S23, Galaxy S24, I'm just gonna be like, man. But I'm also kind of feeling that way about iPhone 13, iPhone 14, iPhone 15. Like, can we get something different? iPhone X was dope. XS was. It's okay. R is okay. Like, I don't mind that. I wouldn't mind if they actually did like X1, X2, X3, and then R1, R2, R3, X being like the premium, R being like the trash. So I mean, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah. Just switching it up a little bit.
But then Samsung did it different. They have S for the flagship phone, and then they have Z for your photos, and they have
they had E, though, didn't they?
Huh?
Didn't they have an E?
No, that I
was
remember.
Like 21E. It was like 10E.
Oh yeah, the E will come after that. Before. Yeah, the E will be like super
so that's different.
cheap one, right? And then they had
in the A was like what?
The
budget
A took over the J, so the J was the cheapo, and then the A took that one over, and then there was the M's overseas, so or in the European market they have M series ones over there. So that's the way they kind of use the letters to do it. But I think the flagship of the S, I think it'll be there until they decide to completely rebrand the whole legacy line, which I think again, like I said in the very beginning. If it has a long storied legacy, you sit on it for a little bit. And I think that's the reason why we still have quote unquote iPhones, even though to me the name sounds so old school to me. You know what I mean? But I think because of its legacy, like you don't want to stop saying it because like it's so recognizable. Like you say iPhone and everybody somebody even like myself who's never owned one, I know what it is. You know what I'm saying, right? So you don't want to abandon it.
I don't want to abandon it, but I do want. Now that I just said that like a while ago, and I know my camera's doing weird stuff. It's focusing like up here. Now that I said that, I do kind of wish it was like an iPhone X1, X2. Even though that'd be a long name, especially if it was like X2 Pro Max or something. Right. It wouldn't have we wouldn't have to have the Pro. It would just be like X2 Pro and then X2 and then R whatever. That might be fun. Sony does it with their cameras. Sony has the A line, the R line, the S line. It means different things. So I feel like you can do it with iPhones.
Wow, Christine. Okay.
Lego.
I'm not gonna do it because we just. But then again, my chat might be laggy. I don't know. But the iWatch. I thought I'm going back with Chris. Stop. I was not doing it.
Go ahead. Go in. No.
I know them do it. Okay. All right. Let's
try to use the X, so they're not going to do the X again.
Yeah. They actually did a very nice, cool presentation of X. Apple did. I thought Apple was going to mess it up. I really did. Because X was a little too slick for them, but they made it work. I give it to them. They actually made it work, and it was a perfect time for the perfect phone. It worked, and I'm okay. Kudos. It
was also called the 10. It was not called the X.
No. I know what it was called. I'm just saying. I think their usage, like instead of using the 0, using the X there instead of the number. Yeah, it was split. It was not.
I mean, for iPhone 20, maybe we could do the XX, and then iPhone 30, iPhone 30, we could do the iPhone.
Yeah, that's the raunchy one right there. That one got some extra curves in the screen.
I'm looking at the iPhone 30. Like, look at that.
I went with that triple X. Now that might be the one I buy right there.
Y'all heard it here first. iPhone 30, that's what we're going to get Q.
Hey, you're right, those right to the same people who say iPhone X and say iWatch. You're right. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Terrible.
I'm going to tell you what was really confusing for me. And this was around the time that I had just became like a Samsung rep. I think I had been a rep for like 2 years at the time. But people would come in. This was when the iPhone 10s came out. And they would call it the XS like it was like excessive because there was like a gold version of it. And I used to always laugh. I would be like, that dude wanted
that's what we are.
He wanted to go because it was excessive, You know what I'm saying, right?
Of course. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty funny though. But some people call it the XS and then some people call it the 10S. And I had this dude I was working with at the time, his name was Bernie. He was an Apple guy at the time. And he would always get like so hot when people called it the iPhone X. He couldn't stand it. You know what I'm saying? He was
the
like
iPhone what?
X. 10. The X. Yeah,
I got it.
He would get
I get it. I wouldn't get hot over it, but it would just be like a little thing in my mind.
No, I'm gonna tell you, it was because people would come up to the counter and be like, "Do you have an iPhone X in stock?" And he'd be like, "You mean an iPhone 10?"
See, doing that's a waste of time. You're not gonna change people, bro. Just let it go.
I'd be like, bro, for real, like, come on, man. And then be like, the guy be like, yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna go ahead and do the iPhone X, right?
Why I gonna trigger that man like that?
Then Brandon would be
That's
like,
crazy.
he would tell the other guy, he would tell Josh, he'd be like, Josh, why you on that side, man? Grab me an iPhone 10. And the dude would be looking at him like, I said I wanted the iPhone X, bro.
Why y'all messing with that man? See, he gonna come back to the store and just let y'all have it.
Goodness. It was hilarious. Oh my God. I had so much fun with it. I would just be standing in the background watching it, you know.
That's terrible.
You know? Yeah, it was good stuff. Okay. So I did name the show this. We got to wrap the show up with this. Let's talk about everything that because this was COVID year number 2. Like my wife said, we headed it because of the Omicron's coming. We're actually going into COVID season 3 next year. So she called this one COVID season 2, right? But the Omicron's
COVID season 2. Wait. The Omicron variant is season 2.
No, Omicrons are the arrival of season 3. So you know how you get the cliffhanger at the end of the season. Yeah. So the big season finale is the Omicron showing up, and then that's what we're gonna get. COVID season 3 next year. So we got
the COVID Decepticons coming.
But yeah. So we had this was the second COVID year. So tech was in a weird space, right? It was still kind of weird. But I don't know. Overall, Ken, let's do it this way. Overall, do you think, even in the COVID global pandemic year, a second one in a row, did you think tech delivered this year? Did it give you what you wanted? Did you get what you wanted this year?
Did I get what I wanted this year? What did I really want this year? See, that's tricky because I am, swimming and loving and wallowing in my apple garden. So I find myself not really wanting a lot. I pretty much just don't want things to go backwards. I don't really care if they stay stale. That's kind of where I am right now. So as far as overall, I mean, this is kind of like a passing year.
Yeah.
This is like a passing year. Like nothing really came out. Like the M1 Pros and the M1 Maxes came out and showed that Apple can really, play with the big dog. That's cool. The Sony A7 IV came out camera, which everybody was hoping for because the A7 III has been out for like 4 years now. So that was cool. The Nintendo Switch OLED version came out, and a lot of people like that. It was a hit or miss for me. But overall, this is a passing year. If you're like us who do things every year, if you pass on this year, I can see it.
You'd have been good. I think it would have been. I think the biggest thing for me was seeing the Z series step out of the shadows. Right, that was fun. That was cool.
I would say, if you were to ask me the biggest. Oh, I forgot to mention the Pixel. But if you were to ask me like the best phone of the year or who to give the phone of the year, I definitely would give it to the Fold 3. Yeah. More than just the phone itself, but how like it's mainstream now. Like Fold 1, nobody knows what that phone was. Fold 2, the techies know it. Fold 3, it's a brand now.
Yeah, it's a brand now.
Google definitely did their thing. They're starting to get their own chips, so that's also a thing. But definitely would give the phone of the year for the Fold just because of everything.
I think that sleight of hand that Samsung played with not bringing a Note for 2021 and gambling on the Fold, I think it was definitely a gamble because out of all the people I spoke to, a lot of disappointment was in the air when they found out, when you got to tell a customer that, there ain't going to be no Notes coming, people weren't feeling that, you know what I mean? But the Fold seemed to fill that void. And I think, honestly, for me, when I look back on all the stuff, all the tech that I've seen come out this year, you're right. This was like an iterative year for most things. And just seeing those notable step out of the shadows was big. I think that's what did it for me. I mean, as far as the PC world is concerned, nothing really. I mean, Microsoft, the Surface stuff was nice, but I don't know if it was mind blowing. I don't know if it was on the same level as the Z series stuff. You know what I mean? I don't know. And I definitely think it was a big deal, but not not on the. Definitely I would give it to Z series. I think that was probably the biggest thing. S21 came out like gangbusters at the beginning of the year, though. S21 Ultra was smashing everything. It was smashing a lot of stuff.
My thing here is, what up, Steven?
Steve cannot be who I think it is. That cannot be who I think it is. Steve Harmony, the original Samsung cat. Oh my God! Welcome to the stream. How did you even find the stream, Steve? No, I don't know if you remember him, Kia. He was the original guy from way back in the day.
Samsung Steve in the house.
The very first Samsung thing that when we first got it. He was the original guy. Samsung Steve.
Was he was he in Midtown?
In Midtown, yeah.
Is it who I think it is? Like the guy we used to work with?
Yes.
I want to see. I haven't heard you in forever.
Right, you know what I mean?
Yo,
but thanks for popping on the stream. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Before I pop back into the conversation we were just having, I am upset that Apple tried to censor me when I'm trying to send these screenshots to a friend of my Twitter timeline, and Apple's like, no, these are not appropriate screenshots.
Wait a minute.
I find that.
Is that a thing? Is that
I sent the screenshot and then Apple immediately it just didn't send. They erased the whole screenshot.
Were you taking pictures of your
like an error or anything? Oh my God, Q, really?
I don't know. I don't think that's the weird thing where they censor, pornography.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, try to think that.
Anyways. I can't. This is why you can't tell Q. No, Q. I don't be doing that.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
Watching him. He got dick pics on the way.
I'm sitting right here. Anyway. I don't even know what we're talking about. What are we talking? Oh, yeah. The way I was looking at this year, I'm not even going to. The way I was looking at this year is there anything I'm looking forward to?
Yeah.
That when you think back to the beginning of the year, was there anything you were looking forward to?
I was looking forward to the thing that we actually saved us tonight. I was actually looking forward to the Galaxy Tab S7 Plus. I was really, everything I read about this and saw it coming and all the spec sheets and it was dripping with the spec and they had had all that dripping. I was like, yeah, I really want that. And I actually didn't think I was going to be able to, because it was out of my price range when it first came out. And I got lucky and acquired one. I got one for like a really, really good price. But that was the one thing that I really, really wanted. And I really wanted one of those. So, yeah.
Yo, no. I'm a bit.
We know why, though. Now we know why. We could never know why. Hey,
man.
But yeah, that's what I don't
take no. We already know I don't take pics on my phone, so I don't use my camera on my phone. So we all good there. But yeah, so when I look back at the beginning of the year, I don't know if there was anything I was specifically looking forward to arriving besides the camera. Like camera stuff is where all my focus was. But as far as mobile tech, computer tech, things like that, nah, I wasn't really looking forward to anything. So I can definitely, and even you're saying computer stuff. So as far as the phone stuff goes, the mobile stuff goes, I'm guessing even for you, there wasn't anything super huge you were looking.
No, I mean, because
at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, the beginning of the year, I wasn't thinking about the fold because the fold was always one of the things that's in the back of our mind because the first two were luxury items that we could sell. Maybe somebody would buy them. We nobody expected what happened during the summer, so that wasn't even on my mind. The tablet though was, and then just like now, I'm actually the first thing that I'm thinking about wanting to really get excited. I'm not even excited about S22 Ultra, which everybody is, but I'm not. I'm excited about Tab S8. That's the one I want, right? That's what I'm looking forward to. But so that would be my first thing that I buy in 2022 would be that Tab S8 Plus. That's the one I want. Yeah.
Oh wait, the Steam Deck. That's the gaming thing.
Yeah, so that's which you quickly dismissed when I brought up the story that.
No, I was thinking of Stream Deck. I was thinking of the.
No. When we talked about this originally, you shut it down because it wasn't a Wii or whatever it is you play. Wii, Switch.
Switch. Yeah.
So it's for grown folks, not for playing Pokemon and
First of all, Christina plays Pokemon. She has 2 Switches, so we can shut that down.
She get a pass because she's a lady. Okay, you a grown ass man throwing Pokeballs.
We're the same age.
Ain't no age.
Anyways, yeah, no. I was thinking, that might be. I don't know that's more beneficial. Is it more beneficial to Steam for having a similar name, or will it be more beneficial for Elgato with their Stream Deck.
You said that remember when the story broke, it was like Elgato was trending because the Steam Deck had got announced or released or whatever it was at the time. And when we were talking about the story, Elgato Stream Deck was trending, but not for the right reasons, because everybody was like going to check out the Stream Deck, and they're like, "This ain't the thing. I already got that."
Well, as soon as she said that, I was thinking like, that's already out. What are you talking about?
Right.
Okay.
It's a straight up gaming PC, a handheld gaming PC.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope. It was pretty
cool. It's still
not
for me.
I think it was like $700 or something like that. I think it was. I think the price tag was behind. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Anyway,
Christina, you can sound off in the chat if it's $700. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was around $700. Yeah. Is a Lido made a cameo.
Lido, my dog. The
puppet.
Okay.
I can see that. But yeah, even though we had listen, I would say this at $3.99 for base. Okay, that's not bad. I thought it was more expensive than that. I know we had some. I figured out what's going on with my computer, but I think I'm going to go ahead and buy it now. It's time to put this one up actually. But
you want me to give you some recommendations?
No, I don't need none of your. I don't need none of your recommendations. You know what I'm saying? Because you only recommend one thing, and I mean, come on, the world is bigger than that one thing.
Like three. I think we got 3 different ones.
And besides, I know anything coming from you can only do one thing because you only like your things to do one thing.
Apparently, you're doing 20 things isn't working out, so maybe you should dial it back.
Well, maybe it's because I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe I did something wrong. But I like the fact that it can do it once I straighten it out. I just got to figure it out. I'm up to the challenge. Okay? I'm up to the challenge. It's going to be fine. It's going to be okay, But even though, the show was a half hour late, you guys still came through. Y'all don't even know how I mean, because, Kim was ready to blame me for everything like you always do. And but I was like, no, man, they're going to come out. I was like, they're going to come out. Because they represent. That's what they do. They come out and check us out. And I was like, it don't matter how late we are. We got this. They're going to come out. He was ready to blame me, like, oh, ain't nobody going to come. It's all your fault, blah, blah, blah. So, who's saying this? It's going to Keon or me. Whose assassin is this? It was going to be a long day. The show is going to be weird because our boxes are switched, and that ain't cool. But yeah, shit, y'all showing the love. I think we missed Mr. Rush this week. Right? Shout out to Rush
and Gentle.
Oh, and Gentle, yeah, okay, that's cool. You know what I mean? But we'll catch up with them next week. Keon, that's all I got. What you got, bro?
Like I said, hopefully I got some big news next week. We will find out in the middle of this week. And other than that, hey, we love you guys. Thanks for showing out, all of it.
Yeah, they do both.
If y'all can just type me a hashtag sheesh in the chat, I will love you guys forever. And then that's it, baby. We out of here.
Hey, look, you can go on Twitter and you can tell me how much that is my fault. The show was late. Every time we have technical issues, it's because y'all gotta understand the weight of the show is on my shoulders. This idiot just show up and press play. That's all he does. The weight of this podcast and the rest of this podcast is squarely on my shoulders. Okay. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. You know what? On that note.
First of all, Q builds the car, but I drive the car.
I put in for this. And they always side with you.
Q, you build the car, but I drive the car, Q. That's it.
Oh my God! You know what?
Steve, go back.
I'm gonna show up. I'm going heel next week. Y'all turn on me. I would turn on y'all. You know what I mean? It's too late. I don't want your crappy applause.
You gotta get some fans, Q. Go get Tim.
Right? Man, I don't know why everybody always side with you. Anyway, hopefully we can do this again next week, and hopefully my stuff will be together. We'll try to see what's happening. Yeah, take it easy. We out of here.